BoomFlare. It's a combination of a boomerang and a double click flare. I'm going to break it down into 3 parts. Before I do, if you don't have a decent boomerang or double click flare yet, I'd suggest practicing that, get that down to where you're pretty confident of doing that, and then learn this trick, because it's basically those 2 tricks combined. Alright, so get your boomerangs and your double click flares down decent, and then you could go on to the BoomFlare. Alright, so basically the first part of this trick is a boomerang, the second part is a double click flare, the third part is the key part, and that is just a simple move, but it's key because it keeps things flowing and on beat, positions you back to have your fader ready and your record hand ready to do the boomerang and start the whole thing over again. Right, so the first part's the boomerang. You should know how to do the boomerang already, so I'm just gonna break it down in counts so you can learn from that. And six sounds, so 6 counts: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're only using a third of the boomerang trick, which is 4 sounds. Okay, so when you count off doing 1 to 6, stop at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're ending with the fader in the open position and the record hand back at the beginning of the sample. Okay? Now this is the position you want to be in, because the next move, part 2, is a double click flare. And with the double click flare, we're using the whole double click flare. We're not using a third of it like the boomerang, right? So you're back with the fader open, beginning of the sample. You do the double click flare, 2 up, 2 back. Okay, so start all over from the top. Boomerang to a double click goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Double click, double click. Okay, so you should be, after you do the boomerang and the double click flare, you should be with the fader in the open position and beginning of the sample. Now, since the boomerang starts with the fader closed and the beginning of the sample, you don't want to just bring it back once because you'll be off beat. So you need 2 counts, basically, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to bring the record hand up and close the fader, right? It's like half a chirp, right? So you do the half a chirp and then you tap. When you bring the record back, tap, like that. So close the fader, tap, close, tap, close, tap, up, down, close, tap. Okay? So that'll bring you back into a position where your fader is closed and you're at the beginning of the sample. Do the boomerang and do the trick all over again. Here's how it sounds. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, double click, close, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, double click, close, tap. Alright, now you could do combinations of these, right? You don't have to keep doing it over and over. You can throw in more flares, throw in more boomerangs. The more comfortable, I suggest you get this down first. The more comfortable you are with it, you'll start to realize, hey, I could throw in a couple extra flares instead of going back to that boomerang and then go back to the boomerang. So it might sound like, see, I did more double click flares at the end there, or do more boomerangs. Okay, so you could kind of play with it, do what you want with it, tweak it with your record movement, you know, have some record movement going. Anyways, do it one more time with the beat.